With a sharp, echoing crack, the condemned fell to their deaths. A murmur of satisfaction rippled through the gathered crowd, punctuated by the occasional cheer. 6 bodies swayed in the wind, lifeless testaments to justice. Chrissy remained still, her green eyes locked on their rhythmic motion. It wasn't pity she felt. Nor was it approval. It was something deeper, something she couldn't quite articulate, a discomfort that churned just below the surface. The gallows stood in stark contrast to the lively streets surrounding them. Vendors peddled roasted chestnuts and caramelized nuts, jugglers performed tricks, a parade band played a rousing march as they moved past. Children ran between the adults, shrieks of joy and cries of frustration punctuating the revelry. Lost balloons, scraped knees, denied treats. Life unfolded in bright, noisy chaos while death hung in silence above it all. These executions had become ritual, woven into the fabric of the city. Not law. Not a duty. A spectacle. The square, a crude amphitheater of judgment, bore its purpose in the cracked stones and faded bloodstains. Onlookers gathered not out of obligation, but out of curiosity Chrissy could never understand. It was grotesque theater, a grim reminder of the chasm dividing the world into us and them. Yet, in this moment, she wondered, who decided those lines? Was justice tangible, or merely a veneer, a word invoked to soothe guilty consciences? The wind bit at her cheeks, carrying the metallic tang of blood and decay. She pulled her cloak tighter, but it did little to warm her. A sudden snap of rope sent a final body into motion, jerking to stillness like a broken marionette. The moment lingered in her mind as she turned away. Chrissy! Quit your dawdling and get over here. The older woman's voice sliced through the air, shattering Chrissy's reverie. Her mistress stood by the sleek Mercedes-Benz parked at the curb, posture stiff with impatience. Chrissy lingered for a moment longer, watching the shadows stretch beneath the gallows, before she obeyed. The Mercedes-Benz gleamed, polished metal reflecting the city's chaos and order alike. Chrissy climbed onto the rear bumper without hesitation. She never sat inside. The car belonged to them, and she, like so many others, was relegated to the outside. The ride took them past revelers and grand estates. This was the wealthier part of Grande Valley, where industry loomed at the city's center, skyscrapers standing like sentinels. The crisp air rushing past her was a welcome relief. This was her time, no sweeping, no scrubbing, no orders. Just the open road and her thoughts. She let them wander. A scent bloomed in her memory, lilac and strawberries. Lilac-strawberry galette. Chrissy could still hear her mother's voice, bright with joy. Her favorite. Apple pie, pumpkin spice pie, blueberry tarts cooling on the windowsill. Sugar cookies and brownies lined the sideboard. Her mother hummed a tune one Chrissy couldn't quite recall, but that didn't matter. She loved the sound. Warmth settled in her chest, golden and soft. Then something foreign. A wetness gathered between her legs. She hadn't needed to pee. Confusion struck fast. Chrissy stepped into the bathroom to check. The next moment, her blood-curdling scream shattered the house. Her mother was there in an instant, bursting through the door. Chrissy stood frozen, red streaking her hands, staining her panties. She looked as if she had witnessed a murder. "It's all right, sweetheart," her mother cooed, rushing to her. "You're all right." Chrissy couldn't cry, she simply stood, shaking. Her mother did what she always did. She cleaned her up, held her, and explained the truth. "You're becoming a woman, Chrissy." And for a moment, everything was fine. Warm, safe, steady. But the memory wouldn't yield. A butterfly perched delicately on a nearby rose. It flitted away as though sensing her presence, leaving behind the faint ache of longing. "Mama!" She walked toward the back entrance designated for help. She followed either the garden path, pausing briefly to inhale the flower's perfume. Just a moment. Then she was moving again. The de Pivoine estate's servant entrance was plain, unmarked, and utilitarian, just like everything in Chrissy's world. She pressed the button beside the door, listening to the hum of machinery unlocking her passage into the dim corridors of servitude. Agnes greeted her with a curt nod. Chrissy slipped past the older woman without a word, footsteps heavy with exhaustion. Her room was small, cramped, and unadorned. She collapsed onto the narrow cot without removing her shoes, allowing her thoughts to drift. Perhaps one day, she mused, she could be like the butterfly. Free. Unbound. Unafraid. Her hands were still throbbing from the ride home. Her mind wandered back to the poor couple executed. For what? Love? The executions were becoming more frequent, Chrissy thought. And everyone, lately, the Depivoines made a point to take her to. She had realized the reason. Don't fall in love. Chrissy had little chance of falling in love. She had very little contact with men. There was Carl, the limo driver. Mr. Depivoine. And the old man who fixed Agnes's machines in the laundry. There was little for her to do. Her days were spent chatting with Agnes, wandering the rose garden in the back, where she couldn't be seen by anyone outside of the staff. That was always comical to her. She couldn't be seen at home, yet had to write on the bumper where all the world could see. Laws were strange in their arbitrary rulings. You can't on one hand, then you can on the other. Do this that way and that way. Chrissy was happy to wander the rose gardens during sunny days, but at night and on rainy days, all she could do was, nothing. She had memorized her way through the laundry and down the hall on the laundry's far side. She knew how many steps before she reached the dining hall's door. Make a left, then a right, and she would be at the stack of plates.